13 News at 4 starts with breaking news and new details. We are learning about Iran's attack today on a U.S. military base overseas. This here is video of people in Doha, the capital of Qatar, looking up as missiles fly over the sky. Good afternoon. We have team coverage of what happened, America's response so far, and the impact here at home.
A lot to get to, but let's begin with the very latest from Qatar. Here's Lee Waldman.
Video obtained by CNN shows a barrage of missiles lighting up the sky in Doha, Qatar, as Iran responds to airstrikes from the U.S. and Israel. A U.S. defense official tells CNN that there are no reports of U.S. casualties caused by the short-range and medium-range ballistic missiles fired by Iran. It's the latest salvo in the ongoing Middle East conflict between Iran and Israel. Monday, the Israeli military launched attacks on Tehran, including the entrance of Iran's notorious Evin prison. This comes after weekend strikes by the United States on Iranian nuclear sites.
There has been a direct kinetic impact. Internally, we cannot judge, but of course, one cannot exclude that there is significant damage there.
The White House Monday reiterated the claim that the U.S., quote, totally obliterated the nuclear sites. However, the UN's nuclear watchdog agency says it's unable to confirm the whereabouts of Iran's stockpile of near weapons-grade nuclear material.
Obviously, if they moved enriched uranium, that is something that we are going to have to evaluate and address.
President Donald Trump alluded to the possibility of regime change in Iran on social media Sunday, writing, if the current Iranian regime is unable to make Iran great again, why wouldn't there be regime change? However, Monday, White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt says regime change was not the motivation for Sunday's strikes.
The president was just simply raising a question that I think many people around the world are asking.
I'm Lee Waldman reporting.
All right, so let's get your bearings here, show you what's happening where. This is a map of the Middle East. We've got Israel over here, we've got Iran over here, and you may be wondering, well, how many U.S. military bases are there in this area? Well, the answer is there are a lot, and they're scattered throughout the region. There are permanent bases, like the one in Qatar that Iran says it attacked overnight. This is right across the Persian Gulf from Iran. You got the other one in Bahrain, and then you've got what are called smaller forward operating bases in other locations in countries like Bahrain, Kuwait, Jordan, Iraq, and Syria. So a significant U.S. military presence in the Middle East and tens of thousands of service members. Felicia?
And some of those American troops stationed in the Middle East are from right here in Indiana. Members of the Indiana National Guard 38th Infantry Division deployed there last September. 13 News reporter Emily Longnecker is actually here with some details about those troops. And Emily, how many Hoosier servicemen or men and women are actually there right now?
Well, Felicia, about 600 Indiana National Guard troops are in the Middle East, and they are there to support Operation Spartan Shield. 13 News was there when they said goodbye to their families and deployed last September. At the time, the Indiana National Guard said those troops were part of strengthening defense relationships in the region through engagement, multinational exercises, and response planning. Their families and the media were not given any details of exactly where they would be stationed in the Middle East, and that hasn't changed. 13 News reached out to a spokesperson today, and we were told the same thing, that these troops are stationed in the Middle East. We also spoke to Indiana Congressman Andre Carson about what he's learning about today's bombing of the U.S. base in Qatar. Carson sits on the House Intelligence Committee and has been outspoken against President Trump's decision to attack Iran's nuclear facilities over the weekend.
Right after this interview, I'm heading to a top secret briefing with the intelligence community for the Intel Committee. I think it's unfortunate. I was just communicating with some friends who are stationed in Qatar. They were telling me that they heard the bombs go off, and they're nervous. Their families are in disarray. Their families are scared, wanting them to come back to the States. I think it's unfortunate.
We have some Indiana National. Now, those troops that deployed last September were supposed to return late summer or early fall, but a spokesperson with the Indiana National Guard told me today that could change. Both Senators Jim Banks and Senator Todd Young were unavailable when we reached out for comment today. Congresswoman Victoria Spartz was also not available. And coming up tonight at 5, Congressman Carson reacts to concerns about security right here in the United States.
Okay, certainly some important questions as we think about our troops here and abroad.
Yes.
Emily Longnecker reporting this afternoon. afternoon. Thank you so much. Let us take a turn from the news in the Middle East to focus on the other big story that's happening in our area.
Lots of sunshine, dangerous heat and humidity, and apparently it's not going away anytime soon, Sean.
No, we are now officially day 3 of temperatures in the 90s, heat indices 100 plus. We've got another 4 straight of this, and possibly a little bit longer depending on how much storms we have over the weekend. So I think what I'm trying to tell you is hang in there.
Sean mentioned day 3 at 13 News at noon. I was like, oh my goodness, it's only been 3 days.
Yeah, it kind of, I know for Dustin and I, it feels like 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Months. Oh,
so here we are, friends. Yeah, we've got a lot of triple figures in terms of the heat index number. Even if you're not at 100, you're almost there. So as we've been trying to stress for the last several days, kind of follow, listen to your body if you're going to be outdoors for extended periods of time, especially between the hours of 11 a.m. and 7 p.m. 92 right now in Indy. It teams up with a dew point of 71. That makes it feel like 99. That heat index did hit 100 officially in Indianapolis for the 3rd straight day. If you're going to be outside this evening, it's still going to be very uncomfortable. You are going to have to drink a lot of water, a lot of electrolytes, so bananas, Gatorade. If you have kids that have practices, they'll be following those same tips here as well. So this is a tool that a lot of school districts use now. It's called the wet bulb globe temperature. And if you're not familiar, trying to educate you the last couple of summers, it's temperature, humidity, wind, and sunshine intensity. Tomorrow it will get into the red range at times. And that means moderate to high on the heat stress. What does that mean? It means for every hour that you're outdoors, you should be taking about a 30 to 40 minute break in addition to all those other tips that we ran down in terms of hydration. So we got more of this to come. We'll have the latest 7-day forecast here in just a few minutes.